When did we stop taking our shoes off? Think about that for a second. As kids, we've had our shoes off without even thinking about it. So what happened? I grew up coming to Pembrokeshire on holiday with my family, and one of my earliest memories is watching my dad. The moment we hit the beach, shoes off every single time. He didn't read about it in a book. He hadn't watched a YouTube video about the health benefits of earthing. Instinctively, like something in him knew. He encouraged us to do the same, and we loved it. The feeling of wet sand compressing under our feet, the cold water rushing over them, there's nothing quite like it. He was unknowingly giving us something really valuable, a connection to the earth that most of us have completely lost in our lives. I think about that a lot, because what my dad was doing, without knowing the science behind it, was grounding, and it turns out that's quite a lot to it. Grounding, or earthing as it's sometimes called, is simply the act of making direct physical contact with the earth's surface, bare feet on the soil, sand, grass, or natural water. And when you do that, your body absorbs free electrons from the earth, and those electrons have a measurable effect on your nervous system. Studies have linked regular grounding to reduced inflammation, better sleep, lower cortisol levels, that's your stress hormone, and an overall sense of calm. But honestly, you don't need to understand the science to feel the difference. You just need to take your shoes off. This year we came back to Pembrokeshire and stayed around the Saundersfoot area. I made a point, as I always do, of grounding as much as I could while we were there. One of my favourite moments was walking along the beach between Wiseman's Bridge and Saundersfoot. There's something about the stretch of coastline that just strips everything back. We got the wet sand right at the water's edge, and the wet sand is actually one of the best services for grounding because the moisture conducts the electrons so much more effectively. I walked along there barefoot, water coming over my feet, and within a few minutes I could feel my shoulders drop, the tension you carry around without even realising it, just starting to release. We also visited Colby Woodland Garden, a beautiful National Trust site just inland from Amroth, and I found a stream there. I took my shoes and socks off and stood in it. Cold, really cold, but brilliant. There's something deeply grounding, no pun intended, about standing in a running water. It brings you completely into the present moment. You can't think about your inbox or your to-do list when your feet are in a cold stream in a Welsh woodland. I want to be honest with you, because I think it's important. Holidays with young children are wonderful. They really are, but they are not relaxing. At least not in the way holidays used to be. There are squabbles and meltdowns, and someone always needs a snack or the toilet at exactly the wrong moment. And you can find yourself, even in one of the most beautiful places in the world, feeling stressed, frazzled, and not quite present. And then that's exactly where grounding becomes really powerful. Not as some grand wellness retreat, just a 5-minute reset. Shoes off, feet on the earth, breath, that's it. I found that even just standing barefoot on wet sand for a few moments while the kids were doing their thing generally shifted something for me. It's hard to explain, but it's like the earth just absorbs some of what you are carrying. That's the mental health piece that I keep coming back to with grounding. It's not just physical, it pulls you out of your head and back into your body and back into the moment. And on a family holiday, being present, actually present, is kind of the point. There's a mindfulness practice called sensory grounding, where you focus on what you can physically feel, hear, see, smell right now. And when your bare feet are in contact with the earth, you're already halfway there. You can't help but notice the texture of the sand shifting, the temperature of the water, the give of the grass beneath you. It turns your attention outwards and away from the noise in your head. And in that space, even just for a few minutes, something settles. My dad understood that without even having the language for it. He just knew that taking his shoes off felt right. And I think a lot of us have that same instinct. We're just being talked out of it by habit, by busyness, and by the idea that we should always be doing something more important. We're not. This is important. Whenever you're on holiday this year, Whether it's the beach, a woodland, a garden, even just a patch of grass. Take your shoes off, even for 5 minutes, and let the earth do its thing. Your nervous system will thank you, and if you've got kids, let them do it too. You might just be passing something on without even realising it. I'm Matt, and as always, let's get grounded.